What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Day here, back again for another video. And in this video, as you can tell from the title, I have had a 3K day on day one on the account that I literally just passed yesterday with my funded futures in 15 minutes. Earlier today in London session, I have accumulated a 3K day. So I feel like I'm normally not the type to post like about money and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's not really the message that I want to come across like with my channel. But I feel like this one is really like monumental to me because I never had a 3K day on like a live account or like a live funded account, right? I've had 3K days when I'm taking challenges. I had 3K days in a demo, but this is actually like real money where I can like work towards like taking out, growing it, whatever the case may be, right? This is the real thing. So I feel like this is definitely a video like worth putting up on my channel. And the fact that like it happened so fast, bro, like I'm not saying like this is happening like every time. This is not happening every time. I don't have 3K days all the time. I don't pass challenges in one day all the time. But the rate of me like being consistent with my trading, accumulating things with wrinkle, accumulating things with like basic price action, micro time frames, the way how I'm able to just like balance everything that I'm setting myself out to do and still like getting all the results that I want to get, bro, it's a really good feeling. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But just remember though, like every trade you take, the money isn't yours until it's yours, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't even really have like the emotions to like accept that this already happened. But even though it happened already, my mind is still just strictly on just like next week, trying to get ready for the markets. After today, I'm gonna forget about this day and just keep doing what I normally do. You know what I'm saying? I could lose the 3K all in one day. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't put too much emotion into like things like this. But like I said, I feel like this is gonna be a very like monumental thing for me to look back in the future on how I had a 3K day, like an actual deep 3K day, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And what happened was I didn't get a chance to post my part 8 for my Top Step series combine challenge, right? So I had woke up like in the AM time around 1:30 AM, and I was planning to work towards that video, so I'll be able to like get that up before my next wrinkle session started. And as I was like editing the video, bro, I received my credentials from my funded account, right? So literally it only took a day just to receive credentials too. So shout out my funded futures for that. Probably less than like a day too, like 12 hours, something like that. So as you can see, this is the my funded futures account right here. This is the balance. And yeah, so basically what I was looking at, right? So I'm gonna actually bar replay this so it could be like a lot more smoother, right? So basically I was on the 3-minute time frame, right? This is exactly what I was seeing like as soon as I got on the charts. I believe it was around like 2 o'clock, right? So I was on like the smaller time frames. If you trade a London session and New York session, like both sessions, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as 3 o'clock come or 2:30, around that time when it's like pre-London or London opening, bro, it trends so like smoothly, bro. And when you compare that to New York, bro, like it's no question that London is definitely like the smoother like session to trade in, right? So with New York, obviously you're gonna have a lot of more volatility. You're gonna have a lot more like crazy moves, unpredictability, right? That's why London session is still personally my favorite session. It's just me of like my time zone and not being capable of consistently trading it how I want to. Off it, I'm gonna zoom in right here. So this is exactly what I was seeing, right? So I didn't really have a direction, right? I didn't have a direction into what price was doing. So what I actually did, and I normally don't do this often, right? I promise you I do not do this often because I like to focus on like what price is doing like on one time frame, maybe like 2, maybe like the 1 minute, the 3 minute. And if I'm doing like micro time frames, I like to do like the 15-second and the 30-second. And I normally just like to go from there, right? I was trying to look to see on the 30-minute what was going on over here, right? If you're new to my channel, I personally like to trade with Fibonacci's, right? I still like to trade basic price action, just like higher highs, lower lows, higher lows, lower highs, all that stuff, right? This was literally at the most perfect place that it can be on the 30-minute time frame. If you remember from like my last videos, or if you're new, basically I love entering off of the 50 zone, right? So initially my trade will be this. I'll have my TP like matching this area right here, right? That's how I love to trade on like smaller time frames, just like trading those like second, third legs and, you know, trying to get those continuations with trends, right? But unfortunately I wasn't able to take this exact trade specifically because look at the tick count, right? You can see that 804 right there. 804, bro, if I'm risking one contract, 804, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't really make anything work, you know what I'm saying? Because that would be way too much risk, right? I went to like the 1 minute time frame, or I believe it was like the 5 minute time frame, something like that. And I had basically waited for more structure to form. And then I found an entry within here. So instead of having this like big, like red, green, like position tool, right? I was able to have like an entry right here and have my stop loss like somewhere in here, right? We're gonna go ahead and transfer over to like the live screen recording that I took. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record the earlier sessions of this trade because I was not thinking about recording, bro. I was just thinking about trading, right? Before this actual initial move like that happened towards my intended like analysis, I had took 2 losses and 1 win. Those 2 losses added up to be like negative $500, right? I was cool with that. No, like not a lot of risk. It was cool, right? 1 contract, right? All these trades I took were 1 contract. I'm gonna trade 1 contract throughout the whole way on this account. I don't care how much I'm able to trade with, because right now I can actually trade 3 contracts. I can trade 3 minis, right? But I'm still gonna stick with 1. I feel like that's the best to kind of go about this when it comes to like accumulating more gains. So y'all could basically like ignore like these indicators right here, because this isn't really like analysis that I use with the trend. But I will say though, this indicator right here, it's actually looking really good. I'm not gonna lie, I like how it takes like multi-time frame analysis, because someone who like only do analysis on like one type of time frame, this video is a little bit different because I showed you like a higher time frame analysis into like a scalping position on the lower time frame. But I promise you, most of my trades literally just be on one type of time frame, like 1 or 2 time frames just like next to each other. For example, like micro time frames, I only traded 15-second and 30-second. Trade that I took to like pass the account, like in the last video, I traded the 1 minute time frame, the 3 minute time frame, I think, right? Love to see like the directional like bias of all these time frames like combined, right? So I'm gonna probably talk about this indicator more often the more I get more knowledge with it, right? I wasn't able to catch like exactly when I got into the trade, but once I started seeing my profits, bro, I was like, all right, let me start recording, bro. Like this could potentially be a big day. This could potentially be a YouTube video, you know what I'm saying? More education for y'all. As you can see, okay, so this is the 1 hour time frame. Taking another look of that initial 30-minute Fibonacci that I had, I'm looking at it on the 1 hour, and the way how price action and how I view things, this is really looking like a perfect trade, right? So now this is going to be the most important part of this video, bro, how I scale in my trades, because all my trades start off with 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. All of them, bro. There's never a trade that I go instantly for like 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, 4-to-1s. There's never a trade like that. As you can see right here, this is another initial like type of Fibonacci type trade that I like to take. Remember, if you go back to my micro time frame videos, or I recommended some price action videos, I love entering off of the second leg with smaller time frames, right? So this is initially the second leg move of this whole breakout right here. It may even be the third leg move, but remember, I have a directional bias, right? So what I decided to do was, I see that the start of this, I could have started a fib from here and here, and then like got in another entry. But what I decided to do was move my stop loss more into profit. Price had broken to my stop loss, I would have like made money either way. I think this was like a security of like $500. I don't really remember the exact amount of each of my scalps. I could probably go to like an individual history, right? But I was looking at like the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, and I was just like, okay, if price happens to break that initial stopping point, I'm going to get out the trade and I'm going to get another entry, because my TP, as you could saw like with my original like analysis, is all the way down at the bottom, right? So I was like, okay, this could be huge. So I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit. At this point, I was trying to like show y'all my executions, right? So I put in the executions. Remember what I said? I took like losses in here, and then I took a win. And then I got in like this like really good like setup. Like I said, I think I scaled in on a lower time frame. As you can see right here, price is still not hitting my trailing stop loss, right? So I'm gonna make a video on how I scale in my trades, because for 1-to-1 traders or people who still want to maximize gains and stuff like that, it's probably one of the most like underrated things, or the most important things that you can do when you go to trade. Trailing your stop loss, putting your stop loss into profit, all that good stuff. So that's definitely going to be like a banger video. I know that for a fact. And right here, I think I'm just kind of like making this horizontal line red and labeling it that it's my stop loss. So remember, this was my original stop loss that I had, and I was like, okay, if price goes to break this, I'm out the trade. But as you can see, we have a lot of pressure going to the downside. This initially is telling me that my bias for the higher time frame is right. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm already confident. I way surpassed like my original 1-to-1 with this trade. If I was risking more contracts, I would have took partials for sure. Since I'm only risking 1 contract, I can't take partials with futures unless I'm risking more, right? So I just decided to just like keep moving my stop loss. Now at this point right here, right, you see like I'm gonna play it right here. You see how it broke right there? That is like so much like initial confirmation that price wants to keep going down. And the reason I say that is because look at this candle right here. This was kind of like doji like, and when I see doji candles followed by a like a engulfing candle, and if this closes to engulf, bro, I'm telling you, bro, so much potential, bro, so much potential. So this is gonna be my new stop loss. I think at this point I secured like 1,000, if I'm not mistaken. I secured like 1,000 in profits or something like that. I was already secure with that, but as you could tell, like price literally have so much potential to come into my initial TP. As you can see right here, this is going to be my TP area. I think I eventually marked this like green. Basically, eventually it hit my stop loss, right? So at this point, I believe, I don't even remember how much I was up, but all I know is that I caught a really good trade, right? But I still had an initial plan for my bias. So what I end up doing is, I believe I went down to a smaller time frame. What do you see? This is another leg right here. This would have been a Fibonacci trade. I think I did mark up a fib, but then I deleted it to make the chart more clearer. This was more of an aggressive type entry, but now I'm playing with money that I already made. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have any like regrets on taking this type of trade. And this isn't really risking. This is risking maybe about like 30% of the profits that I made, right? Maybe like 30, 35, right? So I'm cool either way. If I lost this trade, then I would have been done for the day for sure. I was thinking like, even if price, like let's say like went to my stop loss and it came up here and retraced and came back down to my TP, I had already caught a good move. That's what I'm saying. I don't like being in the markets that long. I don't really like, you know, I say 45 minutes alone is already a lot for me for like my type of style. But when it comes to potentially catching moves like this, bro, it's well worth it. And as you can see, you know what I'm saying, it was well worth it, right? So basically, I had gotten my entry right here. Like I said, my stop loss is above this high. This is how I kind of just, this isn't really a scale in. This is just me taking another position. As you see, I only risked like 400. So about like 40% of my initial like trade that I like originally got. And like I said, this was an aggressive entry. This was an aggressive entry, but this was a really, really good setup. Now, as you can see right here, I'm moving my stop loss even closer to this like new like high, that kind of print right here. Originally, price can still come up here, but in my mind right now, I'm just thinking, okay, if price kind of like comes back and like go past this point, I don't want to be in the market, right? So now I think instead of risking 400, I was risking like 200 or maybe like 100 or something, right? Very, very minimal risk, but this is how I kind of like start to kind of quote unquote scale in and have a trailing type of stop loss, right? So yeah, so I was risking 240 right there. So I checked to see how much I was risking. So that's basically cut my original risk in half. Basically that gotten close, right? It had made like a bullish like type of move. This is like actually perfect proof of my last video of my funded futures, right? Go to my last video right now, actually, like even real quick, just click off this video right now. Go to my funded futures video where I passed the challenge in 15 minutes. Literally look at the pattern that I traded to pass the account, and then come back to this video right now. If you could see bullish engulfing, doji candle followed by a bearish engulfing. Bro, I'm telling you, at an important zone. This is going to be like my Fibonacci zone. Remember, this is the high, this was a low. Price is pulling back in order to continue that bearish direction, right? But currently, as you can see, these are like very nice rejections to my entry, bro. Very nice rejections. You just see a lot more like pressure. Initially, like the conservative side of me could have like moved my stop loss like down here. But I feel like this was like one of the most major zones that I see besides this one to notify me that, okay, if price goes higher than this, we may potentially go up some more. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, price did come back some more. So imagine if I set my stop loss right here, I would have got stopped out of this trade, right? But that's why I have my stop losses set at a certain reason, bro. I'm not just like guessing. I'm not just making things up, bro. I'm telling you, go learn market behavior. Go learn price action. You're good. I'm not gonna lie, like you're really good. Remember when I said this was a bullish engulfing followed by a doji followed by a bearish engulfing, right? Now look at this pattern right here. This is a bearish engulfing followed by two dojis followed by a bullish engulfing. Now initially, this isn't really a bearish engulfing. Compare this red candlestick to this green candlestick right here, right? This was more of an engulfing, right? This one had like a top wick, a rejection candle, that's one sign, and two, it just didn't really engulf fully, right? My knowledge, this is a failure right here alone. Before this move even happened, this red move even happened, this was a failure that price was not gonna go up. I'm not gonna lie, because bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. The market behavior, bro, when you learn how the candlesticks actually work, bro, you start to see the market in a whole different way. I can make a video about it, but there's definitely like way better people to like explain it better than I can. But I'll try to like lock in for y'all if y'all want a video with that too. This type of movement, bro, when I see stuff like this, bro, the old me would have just went all in. I'm not gonna lie, I would have full margin like crazy, bro. And obviously, like what will happen is I will get liquidated and I won't have the account no more, but I will have the initial move right. And as I also said earlier, if I had more contracts, I would have been to partials at my 1-to-1, because my 1-to-1 is already hit basically, right? Point, like price just kept showing a lot of bearish momentum, I believe. Like it was not letting back up, you know what I'm saying? Where's the last like important zone, right? right here. So if this candle can close below this zone right here, I'm all in to move my stop loss again. I moved it right above this wick. This wasn't really the best spot to move my stop loss in terms of like continuing with the actual trade. It wasn't necessarily like the best spot to get in because price didn't really like, there's still room for price to kind of like retrace, right? So I didn't really see any type of like engulfing or like candle closure below this like zone right here, right? So I told myself if I start to see like a closure below this zone right here, remind you, price had came down here, but it didn't close. The closures are important, right? And I'm planning to take a breakout because if I see price coming right here and having like pressure of like going to the downside, I know that, okay, like price can potentially close below that zone that I was like mentioning earlier, right? At this point right here, I was starting to see a lot of bearish pressure and I was like, okay, I'm going to get in the breakout of this candle bottom wick right here. This specific candle can close below this zone. I'm not really worried about this zone because this is just like another type of liquidity, you know what I'm saying? So I'm really focused on this low right here. Good. I'll be good to hold this to my attended TP. And as you see, we got our entry, but now we're looking for the closure, right? So fast forward just like a little bit, bro. Price had came with so much bearish pressure, bro. As you see right here, what do we get? We get a candle closure. It's literally below this candle, right? As you can see, price is like retracing, but normally with like bigger type candles like this, price normally always kind of like retrace off of like the 50 like area of this candle. 50% of this candle, price retraces. It's like a little Fibonacci within that one candle. Price really repeats itself on every single time frame, bro. And when I learned that and when I understood that, bro, that's when like another game-changing moment for me with my trading career, right? As you can see, this beautiful rejection right here, beautiful rejection. How I scaled down on this trade, bro, especially with like scaling down on my earlier trade that I just showcased right there. Bro, it was just, I don't know, bro, it was just a great moment, bro. Like, it was really a great moment for me to actually be confident and showcase like my market knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So at this point, I see another bearish engulfing right here. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna see that candle closure right here. So initially, I think I was debating on moving my stop loss right here, either right here or at this wick right here. I don't really know which one. I'm gonna fast forward it so I can see right here actually. So I had placed a red line right there because I was initially debating on, okay, where am I gonna move my stop loss? Be the perfect place because with this like kind of closure right here, mind you, we had a candle closure for this zone and this candle. Now we have a candle closure for this little wick that you saw right there and this candle, right? That closed below it. And as you can see, this is me just marking up my stop loss and TP. Keep saying it. I sound like a parrot. I sound like a broken record. But market behavior is so important, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's very important. If you want to learn how to manage your trades, bro, just learn the market, bro. At the point, I was already like really deep in profits, right? So what I did was I did an aggressive trailing stop. Decided to move my stop loss above this wick right here. As you see, price is kind of close to it, but I'm still gonna move it right there because I want to secure profit. So I was okay if it did like come right there because two things could happen. Price could just shoot straight down to my TP, or price could just shoot right up to my stop loss, right? And as you see, like it hit my stop loss. So what I'm looking for now is another Fibonacci point. Where is the last lows, or where's the last kind of like important zone that we see? It's gonna be this and this because price had broke through it. As I keep telling you, bro, just learn basic price action and you can really learn how the market moves. So I'm gonna mark my fib from high to low, and this is perfect, bro. Like this is honestly probably one of the best like type of trades that I took because the way how I scaled it, the way how I trusted my analysis, bro, this is actually like probably like A+ like tier trading. I'm not gonna lie. But basically I took my Fibonacci, marked it from high to low, still trusting my initial bias. At this point, I'm up, I think like 2.3K, something like that. I'm in the 2000s for sure. What I did was I canceled my limit order, right? Because initially I like to place like limit orders. Normally just place like limit orders where price come into a certain area, it tap me in the trade, and then I'm good. But I realized that, okay, price is actually really close to my TP. So it's like, I'm not saying it's like 9 times out of 10 that price is going to just like not come to that area and hit it. I've had so many situations to where I see price literally come right near the 50 mark and do not tap me in. Like there's plenty of times where it happened. It does not happen all the time, but it does happen, right? So I was like, okay, I just entered into market execution and then I manually set my stop loss above this high, and my TP is going to be right here. Notice that we have a bearish engulfing followed by a long candlestick wick down below, followed by a bullish engulfing, right? But look at this. We have the same type of pattern, just like inverted. So in my kind of opinion, right, there's no right or wrong way to trade. You just trade. I was going to move my stop loss right here. So this was what I was planning. So this is basically like a risk-free trade because my original entry is like right here, right? Like I said, I don't really care about exact numbers. This is classified as risk-free, right? Because now we're risking basically like what, only like $12 or something like that. I'm saying if price is going to come back up here and stop me out, I can either choose to be done for the day, or I could choose to get in at my original 50 entry for my fib, right? So I believe this was a perfect spot to actually like get in the trade. I had my initial bias of price coming to this area because of that like higher time frame analysis, right? When I do higher time frame analysis, which is very rare, right? I feel like I'm very accurate with like knowing where the market is gonna go. It's not even a point of like guessing the market right or wrong at that point, because 9 times out of 10 I am right compared to me being wrong. I'm to be cocky over it because it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong if you can't trade, if you can't execute right. You can know everything that the market is going to do, but if you can't execute right, you're not a trader. You know what I'm saying? You're not trading. You know what I'm saying? You could be a very top tier analyzer, right? You could be the best, but if you can't execute properly, bro, you're not a trader. You know what I'm saying? Or you're not as good as you may think you are with trading, right? And I feel like that has happened to me so much in my career, where I was analyzing the markets like perfectly, bro. I was getting everything right. I'm not gonna lie. It was just like my execution. That's when greed came in. That's when my psychology started getting like kind of crazy, and like I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to do, right? That's when I realized that, okay, this is really a mental aspect along with the physical side. I cannot let my mental get messed up if I'm trying to be good in this field. And as you can see, TP got hit right there. That's basically like all that happened for real. Honestly, I think I stopped the recording right here. Definitely will be giving y'all more updates on this account. Really focus much on payouts right now. That's why I have a personal account to remind myself to withdraw, like occasionally remind myself that this is real, this is what I'm doing. But that's basically it. Definitely keep y'all updated on that account. Y'all can follow me on Instagram. I may post some things up there too, depending on like what I'm doing, how I'm trading. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you didn't, you know, do what you got to do. You're all good with me. And yeah, until next time, I got y'all with a double upload today. So yeah, I mean, I probably upload, like I said, I'm gonna upload Saturday or Sunday for my wrinkle strategy video, so y'all can expect that as well. And yeah, until next time, that's all I got. So y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and I'm out.